has been an awakening.
Well, hello there, and welcome back to the show. Yes, I know it's been some time. Took a few days off, well, more like a week or two off. Had some stuff to do. Me and the wife had an anniversary. It was super fun. Went away, did some fun stuff, and also had the time to sort of rethink what I want to do with the show. Started off, wanted to put a whole thing together, but it kind of ends up being a lot of work, especially when I'm trying to cover the news, because news kind of happens, and then 2 or 3 days later, it's old. And the editing time takes up a lot of that. So I've kind of streamlined it, and I'm going to be doing shorter topics with more videos, more content. Hopefully that's going to work better. So let's not stand around like 12 o'clock half struck, and let's jump straight into the news. Right, so the story I'm going to cover is what happened yesterday, Wednesday, the 14th of October, when Twitter and Facebook decided to censor the 4th largest circulating newspaper in the USA, the New York Post. Why? Well, because they broke a story involving Joe Biden and his son, Hunter Biden.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
So the story that the New York Post broke yesterday was a series of emails which was obtained from Hunter Biden's laptop. The emails basically go into great detail about Hunter Biden and his relationship with other people that worked at Burisma, which he got a job during the time his father was the vice president. Now, the other part of this is that most people have already known there was some weird dealings going on with the job that Hunter Biden received at Burisma, but everybody was called a conspiracy theorist by the mainstream media.
This ridiculous conspiracy idea, which has, again, been completely debunked by everyone.
I mean, the vice president's son gets a job at a Ukrainian energy and gas company, gets paid $50,000 a month just to be on the board of directors. Why? I mean, he's not a gas expert or an energy expert, as far as I know. I mean, that's not his qualification, is it? But he gets the job. So, should we not ask questions? We go, wow, that does sound a bit spurious. What else is going on?
If your last name wasn't Biden, do you think you would have been asked to be on the board of Burisma?
I don't know. Probably not.
And this is where the entire New York Post story comes in. Let's first get into how we got the emails. Somewhere in the beginning of 2019, end of 2018, Hunter Biden took his two laptops to a Mac shop in Delaware somewhere, dropped it off with the guy, asked the guy to fix it, never came back. Takes possession of it, obviously, because, there's bills to be paid and you're not going to fit your stuff. It becomes mine. I'm going to sell it. One of the signs you see, if you don't pick up your stuff, then, we will sell your gear to recuperate the costs that you incurred and you're not willing to pay. Mac guy, repair guy looks at it, finds thousands of emails, a couple of really spurious looking photos with Hunter Biden smoking a crack pipe, having sexy time with some lady, and he realizes it's Hunter Biden. So gets freaked out. Obviously, at the same time, we've got the Trump impeachment happening, Biden, Burisma, all of this is in the news. So the guy apparently got scared, and the reason he got scared was because there was severely incriminating evidence on this laptop, and people going missing. Hey, remember Seth Rich? Yeah, So he freaked out, called the FBI. FBI picked up the laptop, took it away. Obviously, smart boy, he saved a copy of the hard drive for himself. So a couple of months go by, hears nothing back from the FBI, tries to contact them, nothing. With everything happening in the news and knowing that Trump's lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, investigating Burisma, he contacts Rudy Giuliani, who instructs him to send it to his lawyer, Robert Costello. And from Costello, it ended up at the New York Post. And that's basically how this article broke. And within hours of the story breaking, either the Democrats or the Biden campaign contacted Facebook and Twitter, and they had the story pulled. Completely pulled, as in completely removed from all aspects of social media. So much so that no one could even share the story. They banned any URL links from the New York Post. They censored the New York Post's Twitter itself. They could not post on their own profile. People weren't even able to share the post privately. That's how far the censorship went. madness. Like, this is a ministry of truth. Here is an example of when I tried it just a few hours after the story broke. I copied it, pasted in, clicked post, and I got this message going, tweet couldn't be sent because a link has been identified by Twitter or our partners as being potentially harmful. Weird, right? Later on, Twitter came up with a random explanation. And remember, this is the same Twitter that allowed the New York Times to post an article about Trump's private tax returns, which was obviously obtained legally, right? Sure. Or how about the time when they posted the Steele dossier about Trump peeing on people? I mean, like, yeah, that wasn't harmful at all, right? Or when every news publication called Trump a literal Nazi, right? Yeah, that's not harmful at all. It's not like people are burning shit down for the last 7 months. Nah, it's fine. Nothing to see here. Don't worry about that.
Please disperse. Nothing to see here, please.
And also another part that's really important to note is that no one from the Biden campaign, not Joe Biden, not Hunter Biden, not Kamala Harris, not the Democrats, have disputed whether these emails are real or not. No one's saying that they aren't his emails. I mean, we know it is. It's his laptop. There are photos, there are videos of Hunter Biden. There's email correspondence from him to people we know he worked with. So they are real. And basically this gets into what the emails contain. One of the main emails that the New York Post highlights is an email from a top-ranking executive asking Hunter Biden for some help. And I quote, "We urgently need you to advise on how you could use your influence to convey a message, signal, etc., to stop what we consider to be politically motivated actions."
I was like every other American. I was shocked.
So what could he be referring to, you might be asking yourself? What is this message he needs sent? What's this influence he needs used? While a few months later, same executive sends Hunter Biden another email, and I quote, "Dear Hunter, thank you for inviting me to DC and giving me an opportunity to meet your father and spend some time together. It was really an honor and a pleasure."
It's not like anybody has to have any discussion beyond that.
Okay. Then what happened? What you might not know is that Joe Biden had denied ever knowing anything about Burisma, anything that his son did. He's denied ever meeting anybody from Burisma any time during it. And these mails kind of highlight that Joe was literally lying about everything about Burisma.
Did you and your father ever discuss Ukraine?
No. As I said, the only time was after a news account. It wasn't a discussion in any way. There's no but to this. No, we never did.
Because that's when Joe Biden had the top prosecutor, Victor Shokin, fired, who was investigating Burisma and the company Hunter Biden was working for. And we literally have the tape where he brags about doing it.
And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out to press conference. I said, "No," I said, "I'm not going to, or we're not going to give you the $1 billion." They said, "You have no authority. You're not the president." The president said. I said, "Call him." I said, "I'm telling you, you're not getting the $1 billion." I said, "You're not getting the $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here." And I think it was 6 hours. I looked. I said, "I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money." Well, son of a bitch. Got fired.
Well, what these emails prove is that Joe Biden knew about Burisma. He knew what his son was doing. He actually met with an executive from Burisma, and then Joe Biden used not only his political influence, but he also used a loan promised by the United States government for the Ukraine to leverage an investigation to not take place into the company his son was working for. You remember why Trump was impeached? Remember what he did? What he was accused of doing? Having a phone call with the Ukrainian president and then saying, "Listen, why don't you look into what's happening with Hunter Biden and Joe Biden regarding Burisma?" And they literally launched a impeachment trial. Yes, eventually got acquitted, but hey, hypocrisy much, eh? They accused him of what they were guilty of. Insane. But here we are. And the other aspect is just proves how entrenched Facebook, Twitter, these tech giants are with political ideology on one side and one side only. The tweet from Jack Dorsey, and let me read it to you. Our communication around the actions on the New York Post article was not great, and blocking URLs sharing via tweet or DM with zero context as to why you're blocking, unacceptable. Really, the damage has been done. But unfortunately, it doesn't end there. Because this morning, Thursday, the New York Post broke another story, again from the same emails, this time regarding Hunter Biden and the Biden family receiving millions of dollars from Chinese government officials. And what did Facebook and Twitter do? They blocked it again. You can't share any URLs from the New York Post. They blocked it again. It's absolute crazy. So basically the entire excuse Jack Dorsey gave yesterday was absolute bullshit. It is, they don't care. They don't want their guy having any negative news. It's outright corruption that's happening. There's actual evidence.
Biden and his son are stone cold crooked.
Email evidence of this happening. Facebook and Twitter are censoring it so people cannot see the corruption that's taken place by a presidential candidate 30 days or 23 days before the election. Imagine for a second that that was happening to Donald Trump Jr. or it was someone in the Trump family. Do you for 1 second believe that Facebook, Google, or Twitter would be censoring it because it's somehow harmful? This is 1984. It's like we're blocking anything negative because we don't want Biden to lose. It's madness. I mean, here's a great little clip from Ted Cruz.
Yesterday, the New York Post broke a story alleging serious corruption of Joe Biden and Hunter Biden concerning Ukraine. This morning, the story escalated and got even worse. The New York Post broke a second story of a series of emails that indicate yet more corruption, in this instance, the Biden family receiving millions of dollars from communist China government officials. Minutes ago, I tried to share that story on Twitter. And Twitter is actively blocking, right now, this instant, stories from the New York Post. This is election interference, and we are 19 days out from an election. To issue a subpoena to Jack Dorsey, the CEO of Twitter, to come before this committee and the American people and explain why Twitter is abusing their corporate power to silence the press and to cover up allegations of corruption. And let me be clear, I don't know if these New York Post stories are true or not. But Twitter and Facebook and big tech billionaires don't get to censor political speech and actively interfere in the election. That's what they're doing right now.
And you know he's right. Jack Dorsey's going to have to appear before the Senate again. And this time it's election interference, because that's exactly what it is. One of the biggest companies in the world are censoring the press about presidential candidates, their families involved in corruption. And people should be outraged, but they're not. They're not. They're calling it Russian disinformation tactics. They're very happy with there being a free press when it's against the person they don't like, but it's when it's your guy, well, it should be censored because it is harmful. You know, people might not vote for him. You can't have it both ways. You can't have a tech monopoly deciding what people can see and can't see. I mean, they didn't even bother to put up a little like fact check going, ooh, this might be false. No, they just removed it outright. Gone. Bye. That shows you everything you need to know about this. And I'm not one for regulating, but I don't know, man. These tech companies need to be regulated. They cannot have this power to choose who becomes president. It's not the Russian bots you need to worry about. You need to worry about tech companies, Twitter and Facebook. They want you to vote for the Democrats. I mean, does that not scare you a little bit? Like, imagine they were going, listen, deleting stuff negative towards Trump. Everybody that worked in the tech industry was like Trump supporters. You'd go like, ooh, can't have that kind of bias. No, you can't. they should regulate it. I'm sorry. Like, they are acting like outright publishers, and you got to go, no, well, we're going to take away your immunity. They should be sued. I really hope the New York Post sues both Facebook and Twitter, and they get an ungodly amount of money out of it. Like, so much so that these companies never do this again. Like the same amount of money that Nick Sandman got. Remember the MAGA hat-wearing Covington kid? They should do exactly the same. These companies should not be doing this. And now for a message from people who most definitely didn't sponsor us. And they're probably not going to sponsor us after seeing this. But anyway, enjoy.
Oh, that's the spirit! Let's go, Child River! 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 Let's go, Child River!
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
And that's the show. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a bit shorter. I hope you liked it. Bit of international news. I think I'm going to try and do a bit of everything. There's things I'm interested in, you're interested in, like stuff that happens locally, stuff that happens nationally, stuff that happens off the cuff. If there's something you saw, if there's something you're interested in, let me know. Well, drop a comment, and remember to hit the like and subscribe button and ring the little bell if you want to. If you find this informative, if you like this, if you want to come back, give us a thumbs up. Oh, and don't forget, if you look in the description below, you can support the show by buying some merch. Get yourself a cool shirt, get grandma something too. So yeah, and thanks guys, and hope to see you guys again soon. Thanks for watching.